Hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode of The Score, where we bring you weekly coverage of Indiana State sports and professional sports in the state of Indiana. I'm Brandon Norwich, the host of The Score and the sports editor of the Indiana Statesman. First, we start with the Indiana State softball team, who won their senior weekend conference series against UIC this past weekend. The Sycamores won the Saturday afternoon doubleheader by scores of 2-0 and 3-1. In the first game, senior designated hitter Livy Collop had a 2 RBI double as the Trees' only runs needed for the win. Senior pitcher Haley Griffin gave Indiana State a great start on the mound by pitching a complete game of 7 innings and allowing just 2 hits and no walks on 0 runs. Game 2 of the day saw more pitching dominance from the Sycamores, with senior Cassie Newbanks going 6 innings and letting up only 4 hits and 2 walks on 1 run. On Sunday, the Blue and White completed the sweep of UIC 2-0 after another complete game shutout by Griffin. Indiana State will now go into their final series of the regular season when they travel to play in Nashville, Tennessee at Belmont. All 3 of the games can be watched on ESPN+. Next, the Sycamore baseball team lost their conference series at home this past weekend to Murray State. The Trees fell in Friday's opener by a score of 9-3. They then bounced back on Saturday afternoon with an 11-1 short game win in 8 innings. Sophomore center fielder Carter Beck and redshirt senior left fielder Keegan Garris each led the offense with 3 hits, while redshirt sophomore pitcher Max McEwen threw 6 innings while only giving up 2 hits and no walks on 0 runs. Indiana State then lost a pitching duel on Sunday by a score of 2-1. In which the Sycamores only had 4 hits in the game. Indiana State will now look to bounce back this Tuesday at 7 p.m. when they face 15th ranked Vanderbilt. This game can be watched on the SEC Network. Finally, the Indiana Pacers took a 3-1 series lead over the Milwaukee Bucks when they defeated them last night 129-113. The Pacers had 8 players that scored in double digits and were led by center Miles Turner, who had 23 points and 5 rebounds. Guard Andrew Nemhard had a big game for Indiana with 20 points, and point guard Tyrese Halliburton had a near triple-double of 17 points, 15 assists, and 8 rebounds. Indy will now try to close out their first-round series, and they return home for Game 5 tomorrow night at 6 p.m. This week's newspaper edition will be the last one of the school year. I'd like to thank everyone who's followed along with us at the Statesman throughout the year. We look forward to bringing you more coverage next year in the 2025-2026 school year. As always, you can check out all of our stories on campus and in any building. You can always check out our stories online at theindianastatesman.com. And furthermore, you can check out our Instagram and the rest of our social medias, as our social media team's putting out some great content. Thank you again. I'm Brandon Norwich, and this has been The Score.